World leaders gathered in Switzerland for a major conference dedicated to discuss how to bring peace to war-ravaged Ukraine. More than 90 countries and global institutions attended the two-day event. It was the biggest gathering for Ukraine since the full-scale invasion by Russia, which began more than 2 years ago. On the second and final day, countries outlined building blocks towards ending the war. The summit focused on food security, avoiding a nuclear disaster and returning deported children from Russia. The Peace Summit declaration urges full exchange of prisoners of war and return of deported children. It also states that global food security must be weaponized. Dozens of countries said that Kiev's territorial integrity should be respected and that dialogue between all parties would be necessary to find a lasting settlement. The final communique was supported by a majority of the countries that attended the forum. The document also reaffirmed a commitment to the territorial integrity of all states, including Ukraine. Earlier, as the first international summit on pathways to end Russia's war in Ukraine opened, President Volodymyr Zelensky hoped to find paths to a just peace as soon as possible. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told the forum that he will present Russia with a proposal for ending the war once it had been agreed by the international community. Further adding that he hopes the summit will lay the groundwork for a just and lasting settlement with Moscow.
We must decide together what a just peace means for the world and how it can be achieved in a truly lasting way. The UN Charter is the basis for us. And then, when the action plan is on the table, agreed by all, and transparent for the peoples, then it will be communicated to the representatives of Russia.
US President Joe Biden sent his deputy Kamala Harris to represent him. The American Vice President pledged America's full support in backing Ukraine and global efforts to achieve a just and lasting peace. She even announced more than $1.5 billion in energy and humanitarian aid for Ukraine.
It is not only an attack on global food security and energy supplies. Russia's aggression is also an attack on international rules and norms and the principles embodied in the UN Charter.
With key players like China staying away, Russia not being invited, and President Putin issuing a new ultimatum to end the war in Ukraine, where he wants Kiev to drop its NATO ambitions and hand over the entirety of 4 provinces, which is 20% of Ukrainian land claimed by Moscow. Now, expectations of any major progress were low to begin with. At the Ukraine Peace Summit, leaders also dismissed the terms set down by Putin, but the absence of both Russia and China has cast doubts about the impact of the summit, especially when the conflict in Gaza is a key focus of global attention.